Hello everybody, so this is the weekly update. It's Tuesday today. Didn't do anything yesterday because nothing much to talk about really. So over the weekend Greece came up with an agreement which seems to be even a worse deal than before, and the market did push up a little bit as far as the euro dollar is concerned, but did not really push the previous high or past the previous high. I'm going to show you here. Basically the market had a push up here after the announcement, and basically that high here and that high here was not taking out. Since then the market has reversed and definitively is showing a lot of uncertainty as far as where to go and what to do. The deal has to be ratified by the Greek Parliament, and of course there might be a fight into that. So we talked about that zone here last time to sell, and that zone here last time to buy. And actually, the market went into that zone very briefly and rejected it. Of course, there's a lot of resistance there, but what we have been seeing now is there's still a push to the downside right now. There's a high here, a lower high here, a lower high here, not confirmed yet. And today the market is doing a dodgy, so very hard to see. Though yesterday the market did break under the trend line, as well as this triangle line that we've created, which is not very precise, so that margin here could be a bit different. There's a strong line of support that was broken as well. Today it tried to push back above, but didn't do it, and now it's still basically at the price of the open. So pressure down, I would say, but not very much. A lot of direction and a lot of decision. So this area here will still be a sell area, though be very cautious about it, because there's quite a lot of level of support here, and of course we talked about that area here, which would be a better area to sell, because it would be taking out this low here, and that would be significant. We talked about this triangle right here, this triangle right here, which is still in process. I mean, it hasn't been broken. So that's this triangle here. Okay, so that hasn't been broken yet. I mean, or not decisively, I would say. I mean, it's hugging around that line, hugging around those levels, and definitively is trying to seems to be trying to break it down. So that blue line, dotted line here, which is trend dragon support, could be a good reference level, though I would definitively try to enter after the close of a bar, just to make sure that it actually been broken, and not just try to push back down to go back up right away after that. Of course, for the buy, it's a lot more clear. Above that high here, we definitively want to do that. So a lot of ways to interpret the market. I mean, there's in this short move here, there's a pressure down, but here there still seems to be a little bit of a build up to the upside. We'll see if the market breaks those levels here, the 1.1215, then the 1.1278, then definitively would want to go back to at least this level 1.1436 and maybe try to break it again. Another way is this move here, this up move here is, and this top here and top here could be a double top, and then the entry on that would be below 1.088. So still the same level to be looking at. Quite possible that the market may actually break down here, come back to this level here, and then come back down, which would be a good sign. As far as the British pound, if we go back here, we talked about that zone, and it did break down that zone, that initial selling support zone. But we also mentioned that it would be a lot of resistance, which we've seen because the market has retraced from that. Is now pushing up, trying to get back above that trend line that we did. So, and that triangle or pennant, ascendant pennant, and actually breakdown goes back to this level here. If it doesn't break above it and comes back down and breaks under 1.5330 or this zone here, I think that it would definitely go down to at least 1.50, 190, and maybe actually resume the move down to reach that low here at 1.4565. So lot more room to the downside, meaning that the US dollar would take strength, and if it happens, I think that it'd be a nice move down. On the upside, has to go all the way back up, break all those level of resistance, and we're still looking at this blue zone, which may actually be moved up a little bit, because by the time he moves back up here, it's going to follow that pennant formation and may actually go into that level here, which in this case we're probably looking at an entry above that level here. Fibonacci retracement we previously drawn of 61.8 would be looking at that level as a resistance level. So there will be some pullback from that level. Above that level, this is where I would probably be looking at long opportunities. It would be a lot better if the market retrace from this level where it is today and breaks down that level here. I think that it would be a very good sign for the downside, and would actually be creating a third lower high, which would be good. As far as the Japanese yen, a little bit about the same stories as the rest of the currencies. A lot of indecision in it. Let me try to put it into a way that we can see it better, and let's do that here. We talked about a fine here which was broken and pushed right back up, and actually is getting broken on the upside. So on the zone of that we talked about, this time the Japanese yen seems to have had a bit more momentum to it than usual. It did go into that zone of that we talked about to sell, and so could have been an opportunity, and of course met support at the previous level of support here, or zone of support here, and which coincide with the 78.6% Fibonacci retracement, and actually just bursted out of that, I guess on news related from Greece, and now is actually moving above that triangle that we saw, so we probably have to check it out anyway, and is going back into on the upside above Dragon trend line, broke the 38.2 retracement. So this move here may actually be a build up to go back up, and sign of the dollar strengthening, and maybe go try to push up the 125.85. That will take some time. I feel that the two level of going long are this blue zone here, which will be a bit a bit hard because it's a bit of a congestion period here. The better zone would be, or the better area would be, of course, if it breaks 124.43. If you can wait until then. If you want to front it and take a chance, then of course look at that break of 123.72. Look at opportunities to go up to at least the 124.37. So that's one area that I'll be looking at, and of course this area here. But there will be some resistance before we get to that level here. On the downside would be basically that move down, that pull back up here as not taking any highs so far, but created more of a level of resistance right here. So if we push back down, I would be looking at opportunities at the break of the 50% Fibonacci retracement here, and then of course if it breaks down here, that 120.41, that would definitively be an area of selling, though you would get a very big resistance zone here. As it stands, the market went down and hit that band of resistance and is moving back up from that. Refused that level. To say that it is a build up to break it down, time will tell if the market will actually comes back down without getting any higher. That could be considered as a build up for the downside, but it's a bit too early to see right now. Right now seems to be that the pressure is still on the upside. 1, 2, 3, 4 days up. Today is not up, but the day is not over yet. And so we'll see how it goes. Of course, if you enter here, stop losses would have to be under the trend dragon trend line or under that level of support if you want to get it tight stops, and which in this case I would recommend to go into lower time frame and see what if there are better opportunities down there and better trade ideas. That's it for today. If you have any questions, please let me know. I mean, this is a daily chart, so of course we have to be patient before entering into trades on the daily chart.